Hi guys, welcome back to part 12 of how to make a browser game for dummies. So before we start working on our game, I want to talk about a few things. First off, let me actually show you. Ben's Wise, he made two very nice graphics for the village background and keep, and they are extremely pretty. Just look at them. Oh yes, nice pixel art. Same goes for the background. This was it before and this is what it is now, and I believe it's isometric. Very nice. So we are definitely going to integrate these two graphics into our game this episode. So thank you a lot, Benz, and yeah, if you can make more graphics for some other buildings, please let me know, because that would be awesome, because they are very pretty. So yes, guys. Very recently, I believe this weekend, we actually surpassed 300 subscribers. So thank you a lot, guys. I'm very happy with that, and I'm very happy that you guys like the videos so much that you actually all subscribe. So yeah, thank you a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. So there's something I need to show you guys that I've been working on the side. I've actually been playing around with the Unity engine. To be more specific, the personal edition. Just trying it out and seeing if this is actually something that might be interesting to us. So I've basically made a basic UI. I think it's called a GUI. Let me actually Google that. Oh, what is this? Okay, that's something else. That's guitar songs. That's not what we want. Images. Oh yes, a GUI. A GUI. I think it might be a GUI. Basically, the user interface. I've basically made a very simple user interface where you can register to the game. You can log in, and this is actually communicated with a server, which I also programmed in C#. If you want to know, it's a little bit more advanced programming language, but quite nice. So you can actually log in here with an account, and this actually, wait, let me use a legit account just to prove you guys. Okay. So this basically connects to a database and then checks if the username and all that stuff is all right, and then it actually puts you inside the game. And this is all client side. Let me set up a second client to prove you that this is actually an MMO that I've made. It's far from foolproof. It's okay. Let's just say it's ugly. Okay. And also, for some reason, the name doesn't work anymore. Like before, when I was working on it earlier, it would actually change this from host to the name that you entered, but it was being stored in the player preferences, which you don't want because you can hack that stuff. Anyway, so I've actually made this little game area here where we can go up and down. I had to program this in order to make it work. But that's actually quite simple to fix, but the issue is if you have multiple clients, let's just join. You see that's actually working. If you have multiple clients and you go upstairs, you have to change stuff on one client but not on the other. So you have to work with a server side, a client side, and a shared side to make it a little bit more advanced. So basically, when we go downstairs, or if we go upstairs on this version, on the left version, we have to show the next floor, but we also have to move our character up. But on the other side, we have to check if that player went up, if you know what I mean. So yes, that multiplayer stuff makes it a little bit more advanced, but I have to admit it's very fun to learn, and I'm actually considering making a full-fledged game over time. I haven't worked with the Unity before, but so far it's really looking like I can actually pull off an MMO game. And if you look at the animations, it's not, that's stuff that we can fix, but the actually hardcore stuff, like the multiplayer stuff, that's actually quite easy to fix. Setting up the server and connecting and all that stuff. So yeah, I think I will actually do something with that. So if you guys are interested, I can actually make a series on Unity as well, aside from the MMORTS. I will continue the MMORTS stuff because I want to finish this. I want to continue working on the MMORTS until it is a functioning game. But I can definitely do multiple things at the same time. So if you guys are interested in Unity and how I made that MMO, or at least the connection stuff and showing a few of those graphics, then please let me know, and I will definitely do it. So yes, let's continue on our MMORTS for now, guys. Last time I actually said that we were going to finish the database, so I actually want to do that. Let's take a look. Oh, first off, let's actually change the graphics to the new graphics. And I think there's only a single thing or two things that we need to fix. First off, just overwrite the current keep.png with the new one, and you can just pull the source files and you can get it from there. Yeah, the source files will be in a link in the description. And for the village background, let's just delete this one and go into the code and fix the new what do you call it? URL. Let's take a look. So inside front end pages index.php, and then inside the village class, inside the keep class. Okay, this is the keep. Oh, if I remember correctly, we set the village background image as a CSS background. So let's go into front end design, CSS, style sheet, and it should be in here. Yes, there it is. So if I'm correct, it should be PNG. Yes. So all we have to do is change the extension. So let's quickly do that, and now it should show the new stuff. Okay, so now let's make sure that the keep is exactly in the middle, because that's just pretty. Let's check. Keep. Image. Let's actually check in the code where I put the... Oh yes, here it is. Okay. So on the keep class is some CSS. Yes, here it is. Okay, let's see. Let's try to put it in the middle somewhat. Let's just manually move it using the inspector and try to get it in the middle. I believe it's actually like 2 blocks wide. So that would put it somewhere like here, I think. Yeah, we can't put it exactly in the middle because the field is not evenly divided, but I think this is actually pretty close. So let's see, margin top. Let's move the editor like this so we can actually see it. Margin top, 202 pixels. Margin to the left, 223 pixels. Now if we save it and reload it, it should actually be right in the middle. So that's quite nice. Very nice, very pretty, I like it. Haha, very nice. Thank you again, Benz. I really appreciate it. Very nice graphics. So now that's done. Let's finish the database. So what do we have and what do we not have? You know, that's actually the issue. If we had it, like if we finished it before, we wouldn't have this issue right here. We should have finished it in one go. So let's see. We have armies, we have cities, but we need. Let's actually quickly write it down. We need a resource. Oh, we have resources over here. Yes, but we need buildings. Okay, we need a buildings table. Buildings, right? Buildings. We have cities. We have users. The configuration is fine. The map is fine. Profiles is fine. Resources, that's fine. So I think we actually only need to add the building stuff. So let's see. What do we need to know for the building stuff? Let me put this on the second screen. Cities, let's go in here. Okay, so buildings. Each city has its own buildings. So we need to know, we need to have a separate row of buildings, or yeah, how do you say it? Like we need a row for each building, for each city. So we at least need to have a city ID to make sure that we can cross-reference that to a city. So now we know where this building, like a bad example. For example, if we have a keep, we need to know in which city it is. We need to know what level it is. We need to know who owns it. So user ID. Let's actually switch this around. It's more logical to put all the identification stuff together and the level stuff together. Okay, so buildings, city ID, user ID, level. We should also have a type. And this can be an integer. For example, in our code, we can do something like 1 is keep, 2 is barracks, 3 is stable, 4 is whatever. And then we can just pull the type from the database and then, you know, cross-reference it to that stuff. So for example, if the type is 1, then it's a keep. And then we can see in which city is this keep located and who owns it and what level is it. And then we can, you know, do stuff accordingly. For example, if it's a certain level, we can make sure that building production is faster or resource production is faster, etc. So let's quickly make this this table. It doesn't have to be like completely picture perfect, as long as we have something to go off of. So let's create a new table, buildings, and let's add a column with the ID, because each building needs to have its own unique identifier. Oh, let me put it to the side. So ID is an integer because it's a number. It has a length of 255. That should be enough. And the default value is auto incremented. So it automatically, the identifier is automatically increased with each row that is added. Next, we need to add the city ID. So basically the ID that the city ID that the building is located in, and the default should be put to null because that will be an automatically inserted value. The user ID the same as the city ID. Then we have a type, which is an integer. Let's actually give this a length of 1 or 2. Yes, let's give it a length of 2 because I think the max amount of buildings that I'm going to have is 99. So 2 values. A length of 2 allows us to have up to 99 different buildings, different types. So that should be more than enough. Level. This guy, what's the max level of a building? Yes, let's make that 99 as well. That should be enough. So let's save it. Oh. Outer column. Okay, I'm sorry. We have to set the ID as the primary. And that should be it actually. Primary, yes. Okay, let's save it. The auto incremented value is always the primary because you basically only use the auto increment system to you know, build an ID basically. So now that we've got that saved, we should have everything that we need. So let's close Paint, and now that that is done, we can actually continue working on the game itself. So I think next we should actually start showing resources on the left. That might be pretty nice. Let's see, resources. Our current city, Athens. Let's make this something unique, like let's call it, oh my, yes, we were having trouble with it as well last time, with this as well last time, but you know, I want it to be something more unique. Yeah, oh my god, this is so hard. Yeah, whatever, let's just leave it at Athens. I'm going to try again later. Anyways, okay, so the city ID is 2, and the resource ID is 2, so let's check. The resource ID is 2. Oh man, there's a ladybug right over here on my screen. You can't see it because it's screen recording, but it's there. It's walking. Anyway, so resource ID. ID is 2. User ID is 2. City ID is 2. So it's basically referencing to the city 2. And it has resource ID 2. So it's basically referencing to each other. So let's actually pull the resources of city 2 and display it in that city. Let's actually make sure that this is being shown on the left side right here. So let's see. Let's go into our editor. And there should be a resources kind of thing right here. It's echoing the city resources ID. Oh, that's actually very helpful that we made that. So you already have a 2, right? Let's see. Let's check on the page. Yes, there's a 2 right over here. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. That's very helpful. Okay, guys, let's copy this get city data thing. So from the comment to the semicolon, and let's copy it. And then in here, we are going to paste it down. And then basically say get city resources. So what do we want to get from the database? We want the planks, the ore, clay, and food. Okay. So planks, ore, clay, and food from the resources where city, where ID, the resources ID is equal to this variable. So equal to $city resources ID. Bam! Man, we are good. We are so good. Okay, so now let's put the 4 variables, planks, ore, clay, and food into their own variables. So let's create 4 variables. Variable planks, variable ore, variable clay, variable food. And let's actually fill them with the results from the database. So planks is equal to dollar, row, brackets, open and close, single quotes, planks, and then close the line with a semicolon, otherwise you get an error. And because we are lazy, we are going to copy this. So copy it to the Word, bam, bam, bam. And all we have to do is now fill in the column that we want to get. So clay, food. So now we get planks, ore, clay, and food from the database. So now that we have the values from the database for this specific city, we can display it inside of here. So let's actually remove this resources ID echo because we don't need that anymore. And instead, let's echo the planks. So echo, double quotes, and close it off with a semicolon. And let's put in here blanks, colon. Basically, you know, this is like saying, okay, the value inside planks, colon. Like, this is how you would normally display data. Does that make sense? Let me just show you. Okay, so this over here between the double quotes is called a string, and it contains text. So this is just text. But of course, we also want to display the integer blanks behind here. So how do we do that? Well, if you put down a what do you call it in a dot behind the double quote, and then you put the variable, you are basically gluing these two together and echoing them together. This is called continuation, I think it's called, or yeah, I will just call it gluing. Okay, we are just gluing the string and the integer together and echoing them. So now if you go to the website, to the game, planks 100. So basically, this is just text, and the colon is used to, you know, say that the value behind here is the amount of planks, if you know what I mean now. So let's glue another string behind the planks integer. So dot, and then 2 double quotes, because we want to create another string. And let's put a line break here, like so. A line break, because now I didn't need to open that. Because now if you go to our game, nothing will be changed. But if we put a second echo below here, so let's just copy this line and paste it below here. Now if we go to our game, there will be it will be on a separate line. Because if we don't have the line break, let me just show you, it will be behind each other. You know, it will be like put from the left to the right behind each other. So we need the line break. So let's call this guy ore, because we also have ore. $ore. We also need 2 more. Oops, I'm a noob. Ore. Food. clay, food. I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself. Okay, this is clay and this is food. This is clay and this guy is food. Bam. Okay, so let's see. Okay, guys, so now we have the resources. Let's actually check that it works. Just, you know, it works, I know. So let's just change these values in the database. So let's change planks to 125. Let's change food to 225 and ore to 75. So these should change. Bam. Oh yes, very nice. So instead of having this string right here with the planks word or the ore or the clay or the food, you can actually have images, you know, like an image of planks or an image of ore or an image of clay or food, just to make it more clear to the user what this actually means. You know what they say, a image says more than 1,000 words, so I would recommend putting an image in here instead of a word. But you know, that's stuff that you can do if the game is getting near completion. You know, if we make sure that the basis is fine, then we can, you know, spend some time on that. So next, now that we actually have the amount of resources inside the city, I also want to start displaying the resource production right below here. I want to know how much of these resources is being produced inside the city. So let's actually go in here and let's copy the H4, the header that says resources, and let's paste it below the PHP close tag, and let's change it from H4 to H3, and let's call it resource, oh well, let's just call it production instead of resources. Now, it's kind of logical that this is the production of the resources if it's shown not production, I want production. Yes. So if we go to the side, bam, what? Why is this guy bigger than this guy? Oh wait, this is H4, so this guy should be H5. Okay, I want the production header to be smaller than the resources header. So let's create it. Let's make it an H5. Let's go here. Yes, this is nice. And let's make it bold. And a very quick and dirty way to do that is by using the strong tag and putting it around the word. So if we go back, it should be bold. Yes. Very nice. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the database and let's actually see if we have a production table. No, we don't. No, we don't. So let's create one. There we go again. Create a new table called production. And let's give it a column ID. So each production value has its own ID and it's auto incremented just like everything else that we do. And it has a length of 255. Auto increment for the ID. Okay, so let's create a new column and let's call it city underscore ID. Integer 255 and its default is null. Next, we need to know what else do we need to know next? Let's quickly save it. Oh wait, we need to make it a primary. I'm sorry guys, primary. Let's save it and let's quickly look inside our buildings table. So let me quickly explain something with paint before we continue. So let's quickly draw a player. This guy, oh no, that's not a player. This person, does that look like a person? Yeah. This player, okay, this is a player. He has, he's very mighty, so he has 3 cities, okay? And C stands for city. He has 3 cities, and each city has storage or basically stock resources. It has a production, and it has buildings, so RPC basically. Let's draw a little line. I hope this is clear, okay? So each city has resources, production, and buildings. So this guy also has resources, production, and buildings. And let's quickly copy this like so. There we go. And let's draw little lines. Let's draw some lines. And I like drawing in paint. It's like I'm a little guy again. Okay, guys. So, here's a little drawing. So this player has 3 cities, which each have resources, production, and buildings. And the production depends on the buildings, and the resources in there depend on the production and the buildings. So, how do we add resources, new resources to this city, and this city, and this city? How do we do that? So, basically, what we need for that is a... let's actually... Can I draw a line? Like a real line? Yes. What we need for that is a cron job. Cron job. Basically, a cron job is a script on the server that's like running each minute or every second and doing calculations day and night. So if you are not logged in to the game, you are still getting resources, or, you know, whatever. Armies are still being moved around. Still, stuff is still happening even if you are not logged in. What you need for that is a cron job that runs continuously. So inside this cron job will be called resources, because we want to add resources to a city based on production and buildings. So this cron job will be called the resources cron job. Okay. So cron job, resources cron job. Let's draw a line again. There we go. And what do we need? What do we actually need to make this cron job function? Like, what data do we need from a city to calculate how many resources a player gets? To make it easier, I want this cron job to run every second. So every minute. Every 1 minute. Oh man, look at that. That's pretty. So resources cron job runs every single minute. So what do we need? We need the resources production from the production table, but however, the production is dependent on the buildings inside of that city. So we also need to get the buildings. Does that make sense? No, that doesn't really make sense actually. You know what? I'm going to do this differently. I just need the resources production. And why? Well, you know, as soon as players construct a building, I will change this table. Does that make sense? If, for example, a player has a woodcutter, okay? And they level that woodcutter up from level 1 to 2, the resources production changes. So what I will do at that point is increase the resource production in the production table. So we only have to look inside one place for the resources production, and that's the production table. So let's actually do it like that. So inside the production table, that's the only place where we will have to look. So yes, right. For this cron job, we only need the resources production. I'm sorry, guys. I just have to think about this a little bit myself as well, because it will be hard to change later on. Okay. So inside of the production table, we are going to add 4 columns. Let's move it down. And this guy is going to be the... let's take a look at the site. This guy is going to be the planks. Planks underscore production. This guy is going to be the ore underscore... Oh, that's not ore, that's ore underscore production. And this guy is going to be the clay underscore production. And this guy is going to be the food underscore production. So basically the values that we store inside of these production columns belongs to this city. So if you want to add the right resources after a single minute to this city with the cron job, we only need to get these values in this and this city ID, so that we know that this production belongs to this city ID. I hope it makes sense. I really hope. Okay, the default value will be null for all 4. Null. There we go. The auto increment is fine, like so. Okay, this is it, guys. This is it. So let's actually fill it in manually so that we can test it out very quickly. But before we do that, yeah, let's actually fill it in. So insert row. The ID will be auto-incremented, so we don't have to fill this one in. The city ID is 2, I believe. And this can be anything that we want it to be, the production columns. Let's quickly check if it's city ID 2. Yes, city ID 2 is Athens. So the production belongs to city 2, to Athens. These guys can be anything that we want them to be. But it will be the production each minute. So what will it be? Each minute. And this will be a level 1 production, okay? So level 1 production every minute is, let's just make it up for now, 60 planks. 60 ore, 60 clay, 60 food, just because that's, you know, that's fine. Let's just use that for now. Okay, let's go into our code. Let's close paint. Let's go into our code right here, production. And let's look at the database stuff. So let's select the get city resources to the semicolon, also include the comment, and paste it below the assignment where the variables, the resources variables get assigned, and paste it down there, and then say get city resources production. So select, let's quickly see, planks underscore production, and let's copy that just for ease. So let's copy underscore production and let's paste it behind these guys. So select planks production, ore production, clay production, food production. Let's see if I spelled it all right. Yes. From production, where city ID, this time we should get the city ID because we only want to get the production for that specific city, is city resources ID. Is that right? Can we actually use that? Or should we get the city ID? Yes, let's actually use the city ID. And we already assigned that before, so we can reuse that stuff. So let's select the production where city ID is city ID. So $city ID. And let's save it. And let's start assigning the production. So let's actually copy planks to the semicolon, this little block over here, and let's paste it below there. And this guy should be planks underscore production. Let's quickly copy underscore production again so that we can quickly reuse that. So paste, 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 and behind here as well, paste, 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 and that should all work. So let's go to the site, and it still works, so that's nice. Let's go back in our code and let's show the production. For this we can actually copy the little PHP open and close, and with everything in between, and let's paste it below the production, and let's change the variables to be correct. So planks underscore production, and let's copy production again because we're lazy, or at least I'm lazy. Bam, bam. You can also just type it over, but this is quicker. Let's go to the side and check it. Oh yes, 60, 60, 60, 60. That's all very pretty. Okay, so this is just for display. Next episode, I actually want to fix a few things. I want to fix password hashing, because that's not entirely secure at the moment. We will fix that. And we also will be changing our database selection stuff to PDO. But don't worry about that. I will just explain it next episode. And then, after we fix those two little bugs, I also want to start working on the cron job so that I'm sorry, pardon me, so that we get the production added each minute, okay? So thank you guys a lot for watching. If you like this episode, please like it, give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it, guys. Already at 300. Amazing, guys. So thank you a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.